We knew the war was lost before we asked them. Not lost in the way you tell yourself to keep fighting anyway. Lost the way numbers are lost. 3 fleets gone in 4 months. 2 homeworlds glassed before evacuation finished. The enemy did not negotiate, did not pause, did not seem to want anything from us except that we stop existing. So the Alliance High Command did what every rational coalition does when the math turns against it. They gave the order to fall back. I was there for the vote. Species after species withdrew their forces from the forward line. No one argued because no one believed there was anything left to argue for. We would consolidate. We would protect what remained. Someone I do not remember who said it almost as an afterthought. What about the humans? They had only joined the Alliance 18 months earlier, a border species we had barely finished cataloging, and most of the Council had forgotten they existed at all in a war this size. Someone laughed, not unkindly, and said they were too new to understand what retreat even meant in a conflict like this. I was assigned to deliver the order myself. I expected questions about evacuation timelines, about which sectors they would be permitted to fall back through. I had the answers prepared. Their commander did not ask any of it. She looked at the star chart for a long moment, found the line we were collapsing toward, and asked me one question. Where do you need us to hold? I told her this was a withdrawal order, not a request for reinforcement. She said she understood that. She asked the question again. I gave her the truth. The corridor between the 4th and 5th systems was the only path left for the evacuation convoys, and if it closed before they cleared, we would lose every ship still in transit. She asked how many. I told her the manifest put it close to 2 million. Most of them were not soldiers. Colonists from the outer settlements, medical transports too slow to outrun anything. A school ship that had been mid-evacuation when the order came down and still had 400 children aboard, because there had been nowhere else to put them. She did not react to the number the way I expected. No grief, no hesitation. She wrote something down, asked her aide to confirm the convoy's projected clearance time, and told her officers to plot a course. I watched her before they launched, on a corridor feed I was not supposed to have access to. She was alone for perhaps 30 seconds, hands flat on the console, head down. Then she straightened, and when she spoke to her crew again, her voice did not carry any of it. I followed the operation from a relay station 3 systems back, far enough to be safe, close enough to watch the data scroll in real time. The enemy came through that corridor the way they had come through every other line we tried to hold, expecting it to break the same way. The first wave hit at the 11-minute mark. 3 human ships lost shielding within 90 seconds. They held formation anyway. Status report, 22 minutes in. Convoy at 60% clearance. 4 capital ships reporting hull breaches, formation intact. The enemy adjusted, the way they always did when something refused to collapse on schedule, throwing a second wave directly at the weakest point in the line. I watched a single human destroyer move to cover the gap before our analysts had even finished identifying it as a gap. It took 3 direct hits doing it. It did not move. 40 minutes in, a transmission came through unscheduled, not a distress call, a status update, flat and procedural. Hold position. Convoy not yet clear. Repeat, hold position. I do not have the vocabulary to describe the next several hours without sounding like I am exaggerating for effect, so I will tell you what the logs recorded. By hour 6, the human fleet had lost 43% of its ships. The corridor stayed open the entire time. Every evacuation convoy that needed to pass through it passed through it, including the school ship, which cleared with 11 minutes to spare before the corridor finally closed behind it. When the order came to fall back, what remained of the human fleet fell back in formation, not in panic, and the commander's voice on the final transmission was steady enough that for a moment I forgot what she had just survived. I asked her afterward through the translator. Why? Not how. Our analysts had already picked apart the tactics. I wanted to know why a species barely a year and a half into this alliance would spend nearly half of everything it had on a corridor full of strangers. She looked at me the way you look at someone who has asked a question with an answer too obvious to explain. What she said did not translate cleanly. The closest version is, that is what the line is for. I have given this account to the council 3 times now, and each time I am asked what we gained from the humans holding that corridor. I can answer in terms of convoys saved of the war's trajectory shifting in the months after. Those answers are true. They are not the real answer. The real answer is smaller and stranger than anything in our doctrine. We asked, and they came. Not because the numbers favored it, because somewhere in that fleet was a commander who heard 2 million strangers were about to die, and decided that was reason enough to put a destroyer in front of it. I do not fully understand them yet. I am not certain anyone does. They did not stand there because they expected to win. They stood because someone needed time, and they had decided without much discussion that they were the ones who would buy it. I know now that when the line needs to hold, you ask the humans where they want to stand, and then you get out of the way